Hello, good evening, everyone. My dear friends, once again, I welcome all of you in today's current affairs. Okay, so in today's current affairs, I have again brought some great news items from different articles of the Hindu newspaper. Okay, so 20th of December 2025, the news items which I will be covering today: 97.5 lakh electors have been deleted in Tamil Nadu and 74 lakh have been deleted in Gujarat. This is in light of the special intensive revision in which the fears of mass disenfranchisement were already there, that so many people may get deleted and may lose the right to vote because of the special intensive revision. Okay, do not rush it. This is an editorial in light of again the special intensive revision, that we need not to rush. We should go very slow, and the process should be very much inclusive. It should delete only the genuine voters. It shall only delete those people who deserve deletion, who are either who have died or who have migrated outside the country. Okay. Now, the third article is the significance of strong defense and defense industrial base. This is related to bringing private sector into defense also. Okay, privatization of defense sector, this is the article is regarding that, and it also highlights that how much important it is to have a very strong defense system in the country. Okay, then also one more news: cash for query. Okay, High Court questions Lokpal order granting CBI sanction against Mahua Moitra. Okay, so basically this is related to a corruption charges against Mahua Moitra, that she has taken some monetary benefits from the corporates for raising their questions in the parliament. Get the point? So, Enforcement Directorate attaches assets of cricketers and actors on betting app, including cricketers like Robin Uthappa, Yuvraj Singh, the former cricketer, under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act of 2002, PMLA. So I will here discuss what is money laundering and what are issues related to money laundering. Okay, then too low an inflation is a cause of concern. India currently having an inflation below 1%, below 1%, when the inflation targeting safe limit is 2 to 6%. Okay, so inflation has gone too below, which has also given some space to Monetary Policy Committee of Reserve Bank of India to ease the policy rates. Recently, in previous video also I have told you, recently in the last meeting, Monetary Policy Committee reduced the repo rate by 25 basis points. Okay, so all these news, very important news from different perspectives in your GS papers. Okay, now the first article says 95 lakh electors have been deleted and 74 lakh have been deleted in Gujarat, in Tamil Nadu and Gujarat. Okay. Now, what is this deletion all about? The deletion is all about reasons of deletion. First of all, we need to understand the reasons of deletion. Okay. Now, reasons of deletion may be either death, or you may find a person has shifted to another place, or person is absent. Okay, shifting is fine, but mere absence from the house does not mean that the person should be deleted. It should be thoroughly inquired that where the person is he or she alive or not. So absence, then also there are some duplicate entries also. There are some duplicate entries. Perfectly fine, perfectly fine. But the fear which looms currently is the fear of mass disenfranchisement. The fear of mass disenfranchisement. That people should not lose their right to vote. Why? Because even if they are alive, they have gone some outside place for work, and in their absence they have been deleted from the voters list. That is a big problem. That is a big problem. Okay, in the same way, there are some other reasons of deletion also. Either they are found ineligible, they are not able to prove their citizenship. Now, the inability to prove is a cause in question, that what kind of documents you are searching for citizenship as a proof. Okay. In other states, Aadhaar is not accepted. But for Bihar, Supreme Court said Aadhaar can be accepted as a proof, but for other states, this is not applicable. Now, you have conducted census in 2011. We are in 2025. Since last 14 years, we have not conducted any census. And we are planning to conduct census in 2027. Okay. So when there is no census, you have not updated the National Population Register, NPR. Okay, when you have not updated the NPR, people have not any proof, and also you are not generating new ration cards. Okay, now what are then the points available with you to prove citizenship. Okay, land records you are not accepting, electricity bills you are not accepting, Aadhaar card you are not accepting. So what actually you will prove? Therefore, inability to prove your citizenship is one big reason of deletion, and this is the reason which is being questioned by opposition parties and other parties. And they're saying this is an unprecedented move which is leading to disenfranchisement of so many people. And this is very shocking. This is very shocking. Get the point? Even the next article, which I have already told you, do not rush it. Do not rush it. It is again in light of the special intensive revision. Okay, it has given the cases of West Bengal, where more than 97 lakh voters have been deleted. It has also told about a case of Tamil Nadu where around 58 lakhs voters have been deleted. Okay, but it has said the case of Bihar. Bihar, where Supreme Court gave basically authorization to Election Commission that you can use Aadhaar as a proof. But what about the other states? High number of deletions and high number of new enumeration forms, particularly in the urban areas of West Bengal. There are basically doubt. These things are creating more doubts. Okay, particularly some vulnerable sections have been highlighted, that these sections are facing bigger problem. Okay, who are the vulnerable sections now? Those people who have gone to other states for work. Okay, so interstate migrants are in a threat that they may lose their right to vote in absence. Okay, then also there are some vulnerable sections like illiterate voters who have never bothered about updating their identities, updating their ID cards and other things, or preparing other documents. Illiterate voters. Okay, then married women who have married outside their places. Okay, married women from one place where they were actually residing before marriage, they are being deleted in absence. At the newer place, they don't have any ration card or updation in the National Population Register. So married women are also facing a threat. Okay, moreover, consistently, these are the groups which are highly vulnerable and who are facing high risks of disenfranchisement. Get the point? So, therefore, what is the logical way out? Logical way out is just slow down the process, make the process very slow, update the population register, update national population register, and then also wait for the census operations to go out. You are rushing it so much that so many BLOs committed suicide in the pressure of work pressure of updated revision. Moreover, the case related to constitutional validity of the exercise is still pending in the parliament, in the Supreme Court. Okay, constitutional validity of the special intensive revision. The case is pending before the Supreme Court and it is not being heard, and Supreme Court is not giving any judgment on this because the case is not being taken up at on on this uh, uh, um, uh, on a quick basis. Okay, now one important thing which has been a problem in Bihar, what we have seen that the sex ratio earlier was 907, but because of disenfranchisement of women, so many women got disenfranchisement, it came down to 892. Now again, our gender scores will reduce in that. Okay, gender parity, gender inequality, all those indices which measure gender related issues, we may go down on those scales also. So basically you are doing it in a hurry. This is what critics are saying, and they are saying that go slow on it and then make a proper mechanism so that only genuine voters are added and only those who deserve deletion are deleted. Mass disenfranchisement shall be prevented. This is all. This was an editorial, and the previous one was the front page news. Okay. Now, the significance of strong defense industrial base. Very, very important. Very, very important. Okay. Now, I will discuss all the related to this article. I will discuss the things on next page. What all is written in this article, I am discussing it on next page because less space to write here. First of all, India, we aspire to become a developed nation at 2047. India at 100. India at 100. We desire to become a developed nation. But this is a big aspiration. That's why yesterday also in nuclear energy sector, I told you we need bold moves, which we are already taking in nuclear sector. We have privatized it. But In other sectors also, we require high socio-economic transparency. We require socio-economic transformation. Plus, we require enhancement in our strategic capabilities. Strategic capabilities. Strategic capabilities are to be enhanced. Get the point? So, enhancing the strategic capabilities for this thing, defense sector is very, very important. Defense sector is very, very important. Okay. But in defense sector, we have some big problem. We have constraints. We have constraints. In defense sector, we have various constraints. What are the constraints in our defense sector? I will highlight them one by one, which are mentioned in the article. First is basically we have so much restrictive policies. We don't have an open policy that anyone can participate in manufacturing supply of domestic defense equipments. Okay, so we have restrictive policies. Okay, we have very limited private participation. Very limited private participation. Private sector brings in competition into any sector of the economy. But when your participation of private sector is limited, then definitely competition will not be there. A sort of government monopoly will be there. The growth of that sector remains sluggish. Okay, then we are excessively relying on imports. Excessive reliance on imports. If you see Rafale also, we imported from Russia. If we see major imports from Israel, etc., etc. Excessive reliance. Okay, so now here there is a contradiction. For imports, you import from foreign private companies. Okay, you are importing things from foreign private companies, but our domestic private companies you are not trusting. Means you have kept them restricted in defense sector. What is pausing you and what is barring you to bring in private companies, domestic private companies into defense sector? Because if you have to import from foreign private companies, what is harm if you allow domestic private companies, which will be also having some loyalistic tendencies also, they will that will basically enhance our strategic capabilities. Get the point? So we have to address our economic, we have to unleash our economic potential. Plus, we have to enhance our national security. For that matter, private sector is to be brought in defense also. Okay, privatization of defense sector is basically what is recommended in this article. Okay, now in recent past, we have seen a shift towards opening up a private sector, liberalizing the FDI norms. Okay, so basically something, some good things, some silver linings of past are here, that we have increased private sector participation, but not to the satisfactory level. We have eased foreign direct investment norms, FDI norms. FDI norms have been eased. Okay. Then Ordnance Factory Board has also been made a corporate body. Corporatization. Corporatization of ordnance making factory board. This is also what we have been doing. So these are some steps which we have already taken place. But with all this, we have seen rapid progress in defense. Defense production has increased. We have started also exporting some defense related equipments or defense ordinances. We have started exporting, but in overall, we need basically more reforms in the supply chain. We have more domestic requirements, so better to focus on domestic private companies. Okay, because if we see in the global security landscape currently, we have seen globally, we have seen Central Asian conflict. Central Asia, we have seen on the boil. Okay, we have seen Russia, Europe, Ukraine war. Then we have seen Israel, Palestine, we have seen so many conflicts. Okay, so international peace is consistently on risk. Okay, so due to this international peace, which is continuously at risk, we may see supply chain may completely get disrupted. Supply chain of defense sector may completely get disrupted. Okay, then if we see our neighbors, we should be more alert because our borders, our maritime domain is always at high risk. So therefore, what we need, I'm writing here, please remember this, highly needed is self-reliance because we are relying on imports, but imports are dependent upon the supply chain. Supply chain gets disrupted abruptly when there is conflict in any region. So self-reliance in defense is of utmost urgency for India. Utmost urgency for India. Okay. So please remember this. Self-reliance, these recommendations have been given in this article. Now, what else is highlighted? What should we do? First of all, we should realize our potential. First of all, we should realize our potential. Okay. And we should try to enhance that. Okay. Then we should reduce regulatory complexities. We should reduce regulatory complexities. Means we should facilitate ease in the regulations of the defense sector. Okay. Then particularly we should also start joint ventures with public-private partnership. Technology transfers should be speeded up. Okay. Then we should also overhaul the financial testing and certification framework. Okay. We should overhaul the financial testing framework, financial framework, testing framework, and certification framework in defense sector. Certification framework. This all should be overhauled. Then only we can put our defense sector into place. Now I hope you will get all the idea about the article. You please read the article, wonderful article, all the major points, one good mains question. Okay, so next article is Enforcement Directorate attaches assets of cricketers in prevention of money laundering. Okay, first of all, what is money laundering? What is money laundering? Money laundering is the process of acquiring illegal money and infusing it into the economy by carrying out some complex transactions. Please remember this. Okay. Money laundering simply means basically process used by individuals or organizations to conceal the origin of illegal money, and then they make some complex transactions that is called a layering. Then they introduce that money back into the economy. Now, this has been a threat post 1990s. Later half of 1990s witnessed great drug trafficking, illicit trade. Okay, because of that, excessive black money entered various economies. Realizing that threat, Government of India also passed one act, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, PMLA 2002. Prevention of Money Laundering Act, PMLA 2002, which became effective from January 2003. Okay. Now, what are the steps involved in the money laundering case? First of all, you collect money. Illicit funds are introduced in a financial system. That is called the first process. It is called as placement. It is called as placement. In placement, what you do, introduction of illicit money into economy. Introduction of illicit money. Illicit money which is earned through illegal means. Okay, now how can you introduce this? Suppose you did drug trafficking, you got huge chunk of money, you deposited into the banks. You deposited into the banks. Okay, maybe you deposited the money into bank. Now, bank is a formal part of the economy. Now, you placed your illicitly earned money into banks. This is called first step, that is called the first step, that is called as placement. Now, you want to disconnect this money from the illicit transaction. You will withdraw it from one bank, you will deposit it in another bank. You will withdraw it from here and you will deposit it in third bank. Then you will purchase a plot. Then you will sell the plot and you will purchase a house. Okay. Now, what you have done so many complex transactions. And these all process is called layering. This process is called as layering. You have done layering of the illicit funds. You have done the layering of the funds. Okay. And finally, you will sell out the plot also, and then you will pay some tax on that also, and you will introduce that money properly as white money into the economy. Then it will get integrated in the economy. This is the third step, integration of the illicit money into the economy. Okay. So this all is the process of money laundering. First step, second step, and the third step. Placement, bringing illicit money into the formal economy. Layering, you do so many complex transactions to disconnect the illicit money from the origin of the original trade point. Then you integrate the money through legal means into the economy. This changes the money supply scenario, which RBI through monetary policy controls. Get the point? So that's why Prevention of Money Laundering Act was passed in 2003. 2002, it became effective from 2003. Okay, now there are basically various offenses. Money laundering is considered as offense under under Section 3 of Prevention and Money Laundering Act, Section 3. Okay, now in this offense, the proof, provision of proof lies with the accused. Okay, provision of proof lies with whom? The accused. The one who is accused, he has to prove. He has to prove means burden of proof. Burden of proof lies with accused. Moreover, in other laws, you are innocent till proven guilty. In this case, you are guilty till proven innocent. And Section 45 deals with bail provisions. It says that it is a non-bailable crime, but the bail will be only if the agency itself feels that the person is not involved in the crime of money laundering. Who is the enforcement agency in money laundering? The enforcement agency is Enforcement Directorate. Okay, Enforcement Directorate is the agency which deals with the prevention of money laundering. Okay, now it has very stringent bail provisions also. I told you, Section 45 deals with it. Okay, now the person under Prevention of Money Laundering Act can be arrested without communication of grounds of arrest. Otherwise, if you see Constitution, Article 22, Clause 1, it says that whenever you have to arrest a person, you have to tell them on what grounds they are being arrested. But in case of Prevention of Money Laundering Act, this is also not necessary. So that's why there have been in past couple of years, you might have seen that excessive use of Prevention of Money Laundering Act has been there, and so many people have been put behind the bar, including the Delhi chief minister itself. Okay, so many ministers from the Delhi government. Okay, well, so many people have been arrested under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act so far. That's why experts also say that this prevention of money laundering, although it has been amended in 2009 also, it has been amended in 2012 also, but the amendments are not sufficient, and it is basically harming fundamental rights at times. Therefore, we need to rethink and relook. Get the point? Now, Mahuya, why this cricketers including Yuvraj Singh, Robin Uthappa, some actors also like Urvashi Rotela, Sonu Sood, these people have been charged recently under PMLA, and now their properties worth 7.93 crores have been attached by Enforcement Directorate. Get the point? Now, please understand one important thing, that once they will be proven guilty, then further punishment may enhance. But if they are proven innocent, then these properties will be returned to those people. The crime is related to promotion of illegal betting on a platform without intimating government. That is 1xBet platform. 1xBet, the platform on which they have been charged is basically 1xBet platform, a global betting platform, but not legal in India. Get the point? So that's why Prevention of Money Laundering Act has been in news, and these are the provisions. Please remember, whatever I'm discussing, I may be slow, I may be very thorough, that may make lectures a bit long, but understand one important thing: if you follow the lectures, if you follow the series thoroughly, you will never ever require any. You will be always surplus in your knowledge and points for your mains examination. You will never ever be deficit of points or deficit of knowledge. Get the point? Okay. Now, cash for query. Mahua Moitra. Okay. Mahua Moitra basically has been charged for corruption. Corruption, what sort of corruption? Wa- Corruption, taking financial benefits from corporates. Taking financial benefits from corporates. Okay. Uh, for asking questions related to those corporates in the house. That is the point. From various businessmen. Clear? Now, the Lokpal has given CBI the authority to file a charge sheet against Mohua Moitra. But Delhi High Court has put a stay on the Lokpal's decision. So from this point, Lokpal and Lok Ayukta, I want you to understand these two functionaries, Lokpal and Lok Ayukta. Through, I will make you people understand it through Lokpal and Lok Ayukta Act 2013. Get the point? Now, there is a word used that is called as ombudsman. So these are basically ombudsman. Ombudsman means a mediator who mediates between an accused and the accusing body. Get the point? So Lokpal and Lok Ayukta Act 2013 provides for two agencies. One is Lokpal and one is Lok Ayukta. One is Lok Ayukta. To prevent corruption, and to deal with cases related to corruption against legislators, including prime ministers, chief ministers, and officers of grade 1 to grade A, B, C. All the officers can be tried under Lokpal and Lokayukt Act of 2013. Okay, way back in 1963, there was a committee that is called as LM Singhvi Committee. LM Singhvi Committee was the committee in 1963 which recommended establishment of the institution of Lokpal and Lokayukta. Okay, the purpose is to investigate corruption charges. Investigate corruption charges. Investigate corruption charges against various functionaries. Various functionaries. Okay, now I will give you the structure of Lokpal here. Lok Ayukta varies from state to state. Lok Ayukta, the structure varies from state to state, but Lokpal structure usually similar. Okay, the Lokpal is basically headed by former Chief Justice of India or Supreme Court judge. Former Chief Justice of India or Supreme Court judge is the head. This is the chairperson. So Lokpal is chaired by former Chief Justice of India or Supreme Court judge, but not above the age of 70. Okay, less than or equal to the age of 70 years. Okay, because the tenure is how much? Tenure 5 years or 70 years of age, whichever is earlier. Okay, tenure. Now, apart from the chairperson, up to eight members in Lokpal, up to eight members in Lokpal. Get the point? Now, half members are to be judicial members, and others, there shall be ample representation of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, women, and at least half of the members must be from the judicial background. Must be from the judicial background. Now, they are appointed by President of India. They are appointed by President of India. Okay, but President takes recommendations from a committee. Please understand, huh? Appointment. A recommendation is given by a committee. The committee comprises of four people. Committee comprises of Prime Minister, Working Chief Justice of India, then Speaker of Lok Sabha, and Leader of Opposition. Leader of Opposition, and also one more body, that is a distinguished jurist. A distinguished jurist. They recommend the names to President. They recommend the names to President, and President appoints the Lokpal. Get the point? So now, in the same way, I told you already, Lok Ayukta has basically, Lok Ayukta varies from different state to state. It varies from state to state, and their jurisdiction also limited to state functionaries. Get the point? Now, in this Lokpal and Lok Ayukta bill of 2013, statutory status was given. Statutory status was given to the Lokpal and Lok Ayukta organizations. Get the point? So this is all you need to understand about the Lokpal and Lok Ayukta. So if the Lokpal and Lok Ayukta give a decision, it can be stayed by higher judiciary, like High Court has stayed the charges which Mahua Moitra has been trialed by Lokpal, and then custody CBI has been allowed to file a charge sheet. Okay, but the charge sheet will not be filed now because it has been stayed by the High Court. Get the point? So this is all you need to understand about the Lokpal and Lok Ayukta. About Mahua Moitra, I have already told you what is the case. Please read this article, you'll enjoy it. Okay, finally, too low inflation is a cause of concern. I have already told you moderate level of inflation is always good for economy. Moderate level of inflation is good for economy. Good for economy. Because inflation is always coupled with economic growth. Okay. Now, why too low inflation is a cause of concern? Only one reason. Too low inflation highlights that there is decline in demand. Decline in demand. When there is decline in demand, there may be decline in production in future. And when there will be decline in production in future, there may be decline in economic growth in future. So too low inflation has always been a cause of concern. Okay. But is it a cause of worry in current scenario? No, because our economic growth has been robust in the quarter two, Q2 of 2025-26 financial year. Q2 economic growth has been ranging 8.3% around. Okay. Now, inflation has dropped below 1%, dropped below 1%. Currently, it is not creating any problem, but in future it may create a problem if this cycle sets in. If this cycle sets in. So that's why recently, because of this, Monetary Policy Committee got a room to reduce policy rate, to reduce policy rates. Now, what will happen due to reduction in policy rates? Due to reduction in policy rates, money supply will increase because loans will become cheaper, investors will borrow from the banks, and then money supply will increase in the economy. When money supply increases in the economy, purchasing power of the people increases. When purchasing power of people increase, then aggregate demand may come up. When aggregate demand will come up, again prices of the commodities may rise. Again, now there has been one exception, that you may keep the precious metal out, because precious metal consistently the prices are growing, precious metals. But if you see the other inflation, consumer price based inflation is almost below 1% now. It is 0.03%. Okay, which is consistently experts are saying that today it is not a cause of concern, but in coming days it may become a cause of concern. It may become a cause of concern. Get the point? So headline inflation, even predicted for the next financial year, it is expected that it may remain well below the two bottom level of safe limit, that is 2%. Okay, inflation targeting recommended by Urjit Patel committee says 2% to 6% inflation is perfectly fine for an economy, but we have currently gone below 2%. Below 2%, it is dangerous because it may slow down the economy. Over 6%, it may lead to hyperinflation and it may harm the consumers badly. So, therefore, too low inflation is also a cause of concern. This has been highlighted in this article. So, please go ahead and read this article. Wonderfully, you'll understand it. Okay. So, this is all what I have for you today in this session. Tomorrow I'll come up again. Tomorrow is Sunday. If there will be some good news, I'll be back. If not, I'll be back with a smaller video, some related to your daily doubts. If you have any problem regarding preparation in civil services, don't hesitate. Drop a comment. I will definitely answer the comments. I will definitely answer you through a separate video on or in the next class. Okay. In previous year, in previous video, I have got one comment like, what is the better way to write answers and how to integrate current affairs in answer writing? I will explain this in a separate video very shortly. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll be back tomorrow.